talk about patience. It's not something I'm very blessed with. In my past life, I was a aspiring musician. I used to get into the groove of working on my tune, and it would be midnight, and I'd think, well, since I'm really on a roll here, I'll carry on, and it would be 2. And I'd think, yeah, this is really sounding good, and I'd carry on, and it'd be 4 in the morning, and then I'd have to get up and go to work, and I was always just impatient to do that little bit more. And one of the nice things about gardening is you can't do that. You can't go, oh, it's 2 AM and I've got work tomorrow, but I don't care, I'm going to go out in the garden because these loosestrife have nearly flowered, and if I just carry on doing more work, you know, that's obviously not going to happen because they're going to flower when they're going to flower. You can't rush them into it. And so I kind of like that aspect of the garden because I feel it's good for me psychologically, but it's also can be quite annoying. So around here, for example, a few days ago I filmed this geranium, and these flowers looked like they were right on the verge of coming out, and I said, oh, that'll be really exciting, gonna have some flowers. And a few days later they were still just on the verge of coming out. And now it's a few days later again, and here they are, still just little buds, nearly flowering but not quite flowering. So the wait continues. Now, it must be said at the moment, they seem to be doing more waiting than anything else, because it's May. I started this in June, and my technique was to go and buy things that looked amazing. So in June, stuff will hopefully be flowering, but in May I've got this gap where I would ideally be fixing it in much the same way as I did last year, which is I just go to the garden centre and whatever looks amazing at the time, that's obviously its point of seasonal interest. So if you just keep doing that every few months, you end up with stuff that has its point of interest every few months. But now I can't, and it's not quite the same to go on the internet and find something that claims to flower in spring or summer or whatever. You don't know quite what that means, especially in your exact region, whereas the garden centre is like a mile away, so I can be pretty confident that if it was active there, it will be active for me in the same month. This little daisy thing is doing something more successfully than my attempts to focus. But as you can see, the loosestrife, more patience. And then in the front bed, same old story I said a few days ago, that surely this was going to flower soon, but no, need more patience. And then down here, this snow in summer did come out with a flower the other day. So this is exciting. I've got my first ever flower, as far as I can remember, on my snow in summer. This silvery foliage, cascadey ground cover on the front bed wall, and it's white, which probably shouldn't come as a surprise when it's called snow in summer. And I suppose also the name indicates that it flowers in summer, so I probably shouldn't be surprised that it's starting to come up now. It's a bit early for what you'd call summer really, start of May, but I'm not complaining. So that'll be really good with a nice load of frothy white all over it, hopefully. So I kind of assumed I'd come back in a few days and find it full of flowers, but in fact, come back in a few days and there isn't even one. The one sole little flower we had decided it was premature, presumably. So hopefully I'll get some more in what I would actually call summer, and that wasn't just a freak one-off. Looking along this wall, I'm thinking it's kind of getting there with this whole cascade. We've got more of this blue flower hardy plumbago. This stuff, I've yet to figure out what it is. Flowers are kind of pinky purple. This stuff, I'm also not sure what that is. It looks at a glance like it's the same as that, but it's not if you look more closely. And then more of the blue flowered hardy plumbago there. So you get blue, not sure, purple, blue, white. So to get the effect I want, I'm going to have to buy more of that or divide that one if it gets strong and big enough, so that I've got like white, blue, white, purple, whatever, white, blue. The salvia I planted the other day is looking really good. Stood itself up from being a bit flopped over in the postage, but it's very upright now, looking not bad at all. And this sage is continuing to come out with its new leaf. And the other sage is continuing to not do so and probably be dead. But you can't win them all, can you? And over here, all of this campanula I remember as being covered in purple flowers, which in turn were covered in bees. And again, not a single flower to be seen, which is making me quite impatient, because if I go for my daily exercise, or if I go down the supermarket, there's loads of this stuff on other people's walls, and loads of it is in full flower, looking really nice. So I think mine's a bit behind, because as you can see it's currently in shade, and you might just about be able to determine that that is some sunlight on the ivy. So as the seasons progress and the sun gets a bit higher and sets a bit more north, then that patch of sun there will cover this whole wall, and I'll hopefully start getting some flowers and some bees. In the meantime, much as I would love to seize my momentum and upload loads of amazing videos full of amazingly interesting plants and techniques or whatever, I'm not really achieving much except waiting. But hey, June should be really nice.